In the final days of World War II, when the Third Reich was already collapsing across Europe, one battle took place that few people expected, and even fewer would later believe. It was not one of the largest battles of the war, nor one that decided the fate of nations. Yet what happened there remains one of the most extraordinary moments of the entire conflict. High in the Austrian Alps stood Castle Itter, a medieval fortress overlooking narrow valleys and mountain roads. During the final years of the war, the castle has been turned into a special prison by the Nazi regime. Inside its walls were not ordinary prisoners, but prominent French political leaders, military officers, and public figures considered valuable hostages. As the German front lines began to collapse in 1945, the structure of the regime also started to break apart. Guards deserted their posts, communications failed, supply lines disappeared. Inside Castle Itter, the prisoners slowly realized something deeply unsettling. The system that had held them
over here,
captive
draw their
was
fire!
vanishing, but that did not necessarily mean they were safe. Nearby, units of the Waffen-SS were still operating independently, refusing surrender and determined to eliminate prisoners who could later testify about the final days of the regime. If those forces reached the castle first, messages were sent out through dangerous channels, hoping to reach advancing Allied forces. Time was running out, and the defenders inside the castle had little protection if an attack came. Not far away, elements of the United States Army advancing through Austria received word that a remote castle filled with high-profile prisoners Captain John C. Jack Lee and a small armored detachment decided to investigate, despite limited information and uncertain resistance in the region. At the same time, something equally unexpected was unfolding. A group of German Wehrmacht soldiers, led by Major Josef Gangl, had already turned against the SS. Recognizing that the war was lost and unwilling to continue supporting extremist forces, they chose instead to defend the local civilian population.
This is the U.S. Army. We need to get inside now.
SS
yes, come quickly.
units.
The gate is open.
When word of the threatened prisoners reached
We hold
them,
this line together.
Gangl and his
we
men
fight as one.
made a decision that only weeks earlier would have been unthinkable. They would join the Americans in defending the castle. Soon, American soldiers, German Wehrmacht troops, and the French prisoners themselves stood inside the fortress together, preparing for a fight that none of them had ever imagined they would share. Using stone walls,
They're advancing from the valley.
We see them. Hold your ground.
Narrow windows that overlook the valley. Some of the prisoners had military experience, but many hadn't held a weapon in years. Still, they understood that survival depended on resisting the
Fall back
attack.
to the walls. Yeah.
The defenders were
No finish.
few in
Hold the
number,
line.
low on ammunition, and isolated in this terrain. Yet abandoning the position would have meant certain capture. Holding the castle was the only option. When the SS assault finally began, gunfire echoed across the valley, and smoke rose along the outer walls of the fortress. Attackers attempted to approach from multiple directions,
Pouches
using
are
the
nearly
surrounding
empty.
terrain
This
as
is all we have
cover
left.
while testing the castle's defenses. From windows, battlements, and corridors, the defenders returned fire, determined to hold every entrance. An American Sherman tank positioned near the castle gates initially provided crucial fire support, helping push back early advances.
They're here. Hold steady.
Soon
Sit
concentrated their fire. The tank was eventually disabled,
The lines are cut. We need
leaving
help.
the defenders
I'll go. I'll get
without
through
their
and find help.
strongest
Alone.
weapon.
It's too dangerous.
It's our only chance.
Even so, no one abandoned their post. Through the long night, the battle continued in bursts of gunfire, shifting positions, and constant tension. Ammunition was rationed carefully. The
Ammo! Dead! I'm what? What is up? Fire again! Hold the line!
Side by side, passing weapons, carrying supplies, and defending narrow hallways where even small numbers could hold off larger forces. During one exchange of fire, Major Joseph Gangle was killed while attempting to protect a former French Prime Minister from a sniper's shot. His decision to defend civilians rather than follow the collapsing regime would later make him one of the few German officers remembered locally as a hero. As the hours passed,
We held it
became
together.
clear that
Yeah, a hard
reinforcements
fight.
were urgently
Libre,
needed.
enfin.
In a risky attempt to bring help, a volunteer managed to leave the castle under fire, slipping through enemy lines and heading toward Allied units believed to be operating nearby. Inside the fortress, those who remained prepared themselves for what they feared would be a final assault. Morning finally arrived, and with it came movement in the valley below.
It's over.
At first, it was
A strange
uncertain
peace.
whether
We are
the
free.
approaching forces were friend or enemy.
Perimeter's clear.
Then
Good to go.
slowly,
Roger.
it became
Moving
clear. Allied reinforcements were advancing toward the castle. As additional troops entered the area, the attacking SS forces began to withdraw, their position suddenly untenable. Within hours, the siege ended. Against overwhelming odds, the defenders of Castle Itter had survived. The battle that took place there became one of the strangest encounters of the Second World War, the only known time American and German soldiers fought together on the same side during the conflict. What began as a desperate defensive stand became a powerful symbol of how, even in the final chaos of war, individuals could choose cooperation over ideology. Today, Castle Itter still stands in the Austrian mountains, quiet and largely unchanged. Visitors who see its walls may never realize that, for a brief moment in history, enemies fought together there to defend the same ground. It remains a reminder that even in humanity's darkest conflicts, unexpected alliances can still shape the course of events. Even today, historians remember the Battle of Castle Itter as a rare moment in history when former enemies chose cooperation over conflict, proving that even in war, unexpected alliances can change the course of events.